You realize how terrible of a human being you have to be, where the director of your favorite anime straight up blocks you because you're that annoying, and this person is throwing around baseless and serious accusations at that against the director of One Punch Man Season 3. Now, I want to give a lot of context here, summary of what's been going on, how we got here, and everything in just a moment, but this is a really good prime example of what's just really been happening in the anime and manga community, and honestly, a lot.
This is Chibi Reviews. I'm going to leave a link of his video in the description. Highly recommend that you check him out. I have been very, very much looking forward to One Punch Man Season 3. Oh, it's such an amazing anime. I hope Season 3 is good. At least be as good as Season 2. But we'll see. But let's hear what he has to say.
A lot of different communities in the entertainment space for the last few years, it's become increasingly more common that when someone disagrees with you, like for instance if they dislike you, the first thing that they will gravitate towards is either calling you a racist, they'll call you a PDF, or they'll call you some form of slur or Nazi, whatever. That's what they...
He's absolutely right on that. 100% agree.
Will do. And it's just ridiculous just how common this has become nowadays. Instead of just disagreeing with someone, instead of having a civil conversation or saying they're stupid, you just straight up throw any buzzword under the sun to try to destroy their credibility and actually make them seem like an actual serious criminal.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It actually is insane how normalized this has become now. Honestly, in the last few years, it's become definitely more common. But, okay, I need to get some context before I go any further into this situation, and that is the director of One Punch Man. So, I think everybody by now, if you've been closely following the information about One Punch Man Season 3,
I haven't.
Then you probably are very well aware of what's been happening in the last week, but also over the last few months, and that is the fact that, you know, One Punch Man Season 3, to be completely honest, it looks a little bit dire. It looks a little bit bleak because the information that has been...
No, don't tell me that. No.
Drip fed to us, and the key visuals and even the 15-second commercial trailer we got about a week ago, they really do paint a picture that One Punch Man Season 3 is never going to live up to Season 1 and might not even ever live up to the content of Season 2.
No. No, that breaks my heart. It's like one of my favorite animes.
In terms of art and animation quality. Now, there is more context I will give to this, but the point of the matter is that up to this very point, a lot of the community is more or less just... their expectations are in the mud. They are so deep in the earth that people will just be happy if it's consistent and just average at this point. And it's seeming like it might be the case of that, but... the point of the matter is that for a while, for pretty much years at this point, we did not know the staff of One Punch Man Season 3. And when the 15-second commercial came out on the 2nd of September of this month, basically, we finally got a staff listing, and one of the major ones was the director that was working on One Punch Man Season 3. And this was his statement. This was his official announcement when it was revealed that he would be directing One Punch Man Season 3. So let's read this before I go into it. Hello everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Shinpei Nagai, the director of One Punch Man Season 3. I completely understand everyone's reactions. Obviously, he's talking about the negativity around One Punch Man. Please calm down and hear me out, if you would. I'll explain why I was chosen. It might be a bit long, but please listen. I've been a freelancer from the beginning, and that hasn't changed. At 37, I wrapped up my apprenticeship and stepped into the anime world with a work called Hiro no Kakira. I learned how to create hybrid animation with 3D in a project called Aquarian Logos. And after that, I switched to a 3D company for just 1 year, contributing to image boards for Altered Carbon and such. My goal was always Mongoloid. I honed my skills on episode 6 of Gangsta, pretty good series by the way, and Samurai Flamenco,
Gangsta,
among others.
I've actually never heard of any of these. Gangsta, Samurai Flamenco.
Aiming for a hybrid of 3D CG and hand-drawn animation, but as everyone knows, Mongoloid ended up closing down. In the midst of that, JC's staff became a long-term partner, commissioning me for storyboards and direction throughout the year. However, since I'm relatively unknown and don't have a standout achievements as an animator, I thought it might give a bad impression, so I asked to keep it under wraps. Then, when the consultation for One Punch Man Season 3 came up, I focused on incorporating a new workflow to something I discussed in CG World, bringing 3D and 2D workflows to squeeze out even more seconds of production time. I sincerely apologize for keeping keeping quiet about this. The team is giving it all on site. I can't discuss details about the production, but I'm open to answering what I can within limits. So, more or less, there is a lot of, answers we're given with this post. First off, we are told straight up that the director of One Punch Man is someone that, more or less, is unknown. He is an unknown figure within the anime industry. He's done some pretty well-known works, actually, he's worked on, but the point of the matter is a lot of people would not instantly recognize what this director is.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It basically means he's a wild card. He could be really good, or he could be really bad.
Has done. And more or less, he's being very humble about it, pretty much saying, like, look, guys, I'm obviously not a all-star director that you probably want to see that works on some pretty big series, but I have definitely worked in the industry for a while. That's more or less what, the director...
That's a good attitude, too, by the way. I like that.
...here is saying. And it's very humble, very straight to the point, very transparent, and honestly, I respect that considerably. One of the things, though, that really stands out to me with what he states here is that he was the reason, at least he's taking the blame for it, for why the staff listing, or at least the director, hasn't been revealed for so long. Which is the interesting part about this whole situation. It more or less says that the reason why it's taken this long, until literally less than a month until One Punch Man Season 3 comes out, is because of this man. But the point of the matter here is that he straight up says the reason why he wanted to keep it hidden is because he was relatively unknown, and he didn't want to give a bad impression.
One of the things that stuck out to me was this 3D CG that he was aiming for at his old company. And he's something I discussed in CG World, bridging 3D and 2D workflows. It seems like that's something of a big concern for him. The thing about 3D is that a lot of times it just sucks, I mean, 2D often just looks so much better. Sometimes you can make 3D look really good, like, in the most recent, Kaiju number 8. There's some great 3D stuff going on, but you have to use it sparingly. If you go full-blown, especially with, like, character models and their facial stuff, oh my god, is it ugly. I'm really hoping they don't go that much. Like Berserk 2016. Oh my god.
On the direction of Season 3. And I think in general, this can go two different ways that I've talked about already in these videos. Is that expectations have been lowered to such a low degree that when Season 3 does come out, it might be excellent. It might actually be insane. It could be the craziest gambit and gamble that we have seen in the last 5 or so years for an anime. For instance, just give such bad PR, such bad press or lack of press, that people's expectations are in the mud. So when it does come out, it blows everybody away, and everybody's like, holy crap, this is from people that we didn't even know was in the industry. That's a possibility. It theoretically could turn out like that. Now, once again, I don't want to be a doomer and doom post and all that, but at the end of the day, we got to keep our expectations realistic. With the lack of stuff we have seen and with the marketing, it does imply that One Punch Man Season 3 is probably having some form of production issues. But anyways, regardless of that point, the reason why it's taken so long for the staff to be revealed is because the director asked for it and he didn't want to give a bad impression. I think that, in general, this showcases a lot of transparency. I've said that already, but I appreciate the director just being blunt about this. He's like, look guys, I was embarrassed. I didn't think that maybe I was up for worthy of the job, so that's why I wanted to keep my name hidden. And I think that's kind of sad. It really is. But we do need to look at what he's worked on. And a lot of people, and myself included, have already mentioned this, but the director here that is working on One Punch Man Season 3, he has done adult anime in the past.
Oh. Oh. Has he? I didn't know that. So. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Well, he's done some, I didn't know that. So he's done some adult stuff. Oh, and he's done Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Oh, how nice. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, along with those.
has worked on adult anime. Now, this isn't something necessarily uncommon. This is
Oh.
something that,
But it's funny as hell.
you know, a lot of directors and animators have done in the past. A lot of big names, for instance, they have worked on adult animation and content in the past, and then eventually they moved into some bigger series. So it's nothing
Bigger.
that is relatively crazy or groundbreaking or something that's, you know, just breaking news that's insane. But
Oh,
it is
it was breaking to me. I didn't know that at all. Man, that... Oh.
noted that he has been working in the industry for a very long time, basically in the 2000s, as you can see, and has even worked on Diamond and Pearl, which is, honestly, seeing Diamond and Pearl that old, from 2006, just, oh my goodness, my bones, man. It makes me feel ancient, just thinking that that's how old Diamond and Pearl is. Like, I remember that, I was so young when I was playing Diamond and Pearl, but anyways, the point of the matter is...
Oh, is this a game? I was never into Pokemon. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh guy. Pokemon's gay.
that he has worked on a lot of anime over the past. He's worked on some pretty big series. Obviously, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is pretty big. It's not necessarily a niche series, underground series. So I do think that he should give himself more credit. I do think that he is definitely someone that has worked on things that are pretty impressive. And like I said, I really like Gangsta as well. It was a good series. If you've never watched it, you should watch it. It's pretty good. But I think that in general, it's just pretty sad to see that he was that embarrassed or sad or didn't feel like he was worthy enough of the role.
Or maybe it was just pure humility. It could have been a mixture of those things, or could have just been, you know, humility. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Now, let's get in deeper to how this video started. So the point of the matter is once this happened, the director has done their best to really just play PR, trying to improve the public perception of One Punch Man Season 3. And I do think, in general, the director is doing a good job at that. I think that people's expectations for One Punch Man Season 3 at this point...
Did you guys know that for most of the people watching YouTube videos, only a small percentage of those people are actually subscribed to those channels? But subscribing is really quick and easy. All you have to do is first to make a YouTube account, which is free, and then after that, go down to the video that you're watching, hit the like button, which goes a long way in helping out the algorithm, and then go over and hit the subscribe button. After you've hit the subscribe button, click the drop down arrow, and click the option that says all, so that can notify you whenever a new video from this creator has dropped. Subscribing is free, and making a YouTube account is also free. It allows you to keep up with all of your favorite content creators, and of course it goes a long way in helping out my channel, and I really do appreciate it. So with all of that being said, back to the video.
Is a little bit more improved. I think that there is still some eerie gloominess to it, and I still have that a little bit myself, but I do think that at the end of the day, if there's one thing I think everybody can agree upon reading the director's comments and what he's been saying with his staff, is that they are giving it their A game. They are trying their best to actually make the product as best as possible with maybe the limited time they have, and it might not be the most impressive thing ever, but they are trying. And this post right here from the director actually states that. He comments about the quality of Season 3, and, you know, let's read his words. This is what he was responding to. Considering all the factors, I think Season 3 will truly be a great success. However, it might not reach the level of Season 1. Thank you so much for reading my message. And this is what the director responded with. No, I think I've come with the resolve and determination to carry the work that you all cherish so dearly. It might not please you or could even make you angry, but someone has to take it on. I am determined and ready to do so. It probably won't measure up to Season 1, but the film is infused with creators' tenacity and ingenuity. Please, at the very least, accept that. Nowadays, there are many companies flush with funding from big corporations. Much of the talent has been drawn to these places, but as I keep saying, I want to support JC staff, which is working to improve labor conditions and nurture its employees. Please stop with the harassment and the persistent questions that I can't answer due to NDAs. I beg you, please.
I don't know how I feel about that last line. Everything up until that point was like, okay, fair enough, but please stop with the harassment and the persistent questions that I can't answer due to NDAs. I don't like that last line. Yeah, I don't like that at all. These are fans. Of course they're going to be excited. They're going to be asking questions. And harassment is kind of one of those blanket terms that you can just throw anything under, like hate speech or toxicity or something stupid like that. It's like, well, maybe they're not trying to harass you. Maybe they're just eager and passionate and zealous. You know, they love the product, but they're not trying to harass you. I really don't like that last line.
So, more or less, the director admits that there is going to be people that are going to be extremely upset with Season 3, which is going to happen regardless, even if the quality of Season 3...
I don't know if I would have phrased it that way either, for him to put that in. This one other line stuck out to me. It probably won't measure up to Season 1. I wouldn't have said that. I don't think he should have said that.
Matches the level of Season 2, there will be people upset that it isn't Season 1 quality. I think anyone with actual rational thought would agree that we were never going to get Season 1 quality for One Punch Man. It's not happening. But I guess, a rationale, or just trying to have rational thought, is that it could be Season 2 level. And obviously the director here is saying that, yes, people are going to be pissed, people are going to be angry, but at the end of the day, they are trying. They are trying their absolute best. And he even admits that they are getting harassed, and there's persistent questions about certain things that they just cannot talk about, which is completely fair. There's NDAs and stuff, and they can't mention certain things, and that's just...
Yeah, he says, I beg you, please. The post overall really does come across as a little insecure. He should have filtered this through, one of, like had someone take a second look, like a secretary or something, and just be like, ooh, you know, maybe want to fluff this up a little bit and be a little bit more positive and eager overall. This entire post just kind of is, it's like, it's very defensive, and it comes across as insecure to me.
That's how life works. That's just how it works when you're working on projects that obviously you just can't talk about. So, with that being said, it gets into the first picture I showed at the beginning of the video. This individual being an absolute pile of filth, attacking the director. And there's been a lot of people that are doing this exact same thing, attacking the director, just trying their best to present One Punch Man to people, and being just so scum about it. Like, look at these accusations and stuff that they're doing. It's just so crazy. And for those that are wondering why he's even doing this, obviously there's no grounds or...
Sympathy Merchant Gunner PDF file. Shame on you for destroying OP. And the one before it said, F you PDF piece of SHIT, I think. Leave One Punch Man alone. Don't touch it with your dirty hands. Yeah, these guys are dicks, for sure. I don't agree with any of that. It is the internet, though. I mean, it comes with the territory.
And being just so scum about it. Like, look at these accusations and stuff that they're doing. It's just so crazy. And for those that are wondering why he's even doing this, obviously there's no grounds or basis to even say stuff like this. But the reason why this guy is saying that is because the director worked on adult anime. Straight up. That's the reason.
Oh, okay. That all makes sense now. Okay. Yeah, there's no cause for this. Like, these guys are just dicks. There's probably not a lot of them. I guess if there's a lot of them, like legit, you know, like hundreds flooding in, then maybe I was too quick to judge that last post from the director, and maybe it's a bit more understandable. But normally when you get trolls like this, if you don't give in to them, there's like, I don't know. It is a big deal, One Punch Man. There's probably more than a dozen, you know. I don't know.
And it's just like, oh my goodness, it's always these people that can't separate fiction from reality. But on another note, this guy right here, his account's gone. So, that is
good.
a positive and all that.
Well, it's just blocked. Okay, it's blocked.
But getting back into the point, I am a little bit more hopeful on One Punch Man Season 3. I do think that has the potential to be better than I expected, but I still think that our expectations should be tempered at this point, because still, the cold hard facts of the matter is, we haven't really gotten a lot of new footage or anything like that since that 15-second commercial, and let's be honest, that 15-second commercial was pretty much still frames and mouth flaps, so still should temper your expectations. But at the very least, I don't think anyone's going to blame the staff if things go sideways. I think there's a lot of other issues behind the scenes that we could blame instead of the staff. I'll leave it at that.
I don't know about that. I mean, If not the staff, who else would you blame? The staff and the director? I mean, even if there are issues and stuff going on. Yeah, I don't know. I'm optimistic. A lot of this stuff I didn't know. I haven't had a lot of time to keep up with it, so I depend on Chibi reviews. A lot of interesting stuff there, though. Yeah, if he's getting trolled by a-holes and stuff, it is what it is. It's the internet. You kind of have to expect that. But the fact that he did adult stuff in the past makes more sense now that would kind of add fuel to the flame to give a lot of people the incentive to want to do that. They shouldn't be doing that, though. It's stupid. I'm definitely going to give it a chance. I love One Punch Man. And the producer, the director guy, didn't say anything. I wasn't overly fond of that last post, but I guess I don't know the extent of if it's actual harassment. Those posts you could consider harassment, but he only showed 2. It's like a couple of online trolls. I wouldn't really sweat over that, but if it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, okay, maybe that's a little bit more understandable. In any case, I haven't seen anything actually just from this video here where I'm just like super duper red flag. The guy seems either humble and or somewhat insecure, but it looks like he's taking it seriously, and all we can do is just wait for it to come out, and hopefully it's good. I really hope this anime is good. I love not just 1 and 2, but all the spin-offs too, and I'm even mostly caught up in the manga. So we'll see. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button and the bell icon. Really goes a long way, and I really do appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Till next time.